Hi everyone, it's Mario Daniel Sconza here with my dear friend, Mr. Jerry Gironi. And Jerry, thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Mario.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I have a company, and our slogan is "We help people live longer and healthier lives." And how we do that is by focusing on the four main things about life, and one of them being food and how you prepare it, the other being water filtration systems. And I think nowadays it's a big concern, the amount of chemicals that are in water. And I think it's to everyone's best interest to remove as much as possible. I guess one of the things I say a lot to people, Mario, is that listen, you either filter water or you are the filter. And so we would like to make sure that houses are as clean as possible, filtering the entire house, or at least for cooking and drinking. And we have air purification systems as well, and an amazing mattress, which includes something called earthing or grounding. Yeah, that's what we do. So we focus on the circle of life: food, water, air, and sleep.
Awesome, very exciting. Let's touch today on the specifically the water segment of the idea. And what do you find is the biggest challenge today as it relates to clean drinking water in the homes? If somebody, for instance, is just dealing with city water, let's say.
Well, okay. I guess when we're drinking city water, there's the assumption by a lot of people, because the government sends us that water, that it's okay to drink. Well, in my opinion, from what I've read, I mean, if you even went on the internet right now and you Googled chlorine, cancer, and heart disease, there's an article that comes right up, and it talks about the Medical College of Wisconsin. And their research, in that particular article, their research team states that they believe that there's an association between cancer and chlorinated water. And then they go through and they give a long explanation on, some of their conclusions and tests and so on and so forth. And what we find is that, chlorine in itself is a poison. So I guess you could say that we are cooking or drinking or showering in what they call acceptable amounts of poison, because it's a bleach, it's a poison. So does that mean everybody can handle that amount of bleach? I don't think so. I mean, one of the standard things I say, Mario, a lot in meetings is I'll say, has anybody ever heard of people being allergic to penicillin? Well, of course, they're going to say yes. There's millions of people that are allergic to penicillin. Well, here's the thing. Here's the reason for the analogy. If I take penicillin and I have an infection, I heal quickly. Somebody else takes that same chemical and it kills them. And then we could go on with so many things that people are allergic to, like my brother Rick, who passed away, was allergic to lobster. He couldn't touch it to his lips. So we could go on from grass to milk, you name it. And so what they found was there's a certain amount of people, a large amount of people, that can't really deal with that product called chlorine. And nowadays they actually add ammonia to it. So the intensity or the strength of the chlorine stays more consistent, whether your home is 1 mile or two houses away from the plant, or 2 miles or 5 miles or 10 miles away from the plant. They want it to stay more consistent. So is it really something that I want to drink? Not really. I would prefer to filter it and get it out rather than let my kidneys and liver filter it. Basically, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I mean, you either filter these chemicals out of the water. I could show you here. I've got a few videos from. You might have heard of the problem in Flint, Michigan, where there's lead in the water. Well, a lot of cities, most cities are old, and back in the old days, they used to use a lot of lead. And again, I don't think it'll work out because of this particular format here. That I could show you videos where even here in Toronto, you could go back into the Toronto Star many years ago, or the Sun. I forget which one, but it would be easy to Google. And they did a test at the harbor there, and they took some water out and they tested. They found hormones, high blood pressure pills, and birth control, and you name it, they could find in the water, because the water that comes back into our home is flushed back into the lake. So there's a lot of things that are in water that I think that are not to our best interest. And so at that point, I think people start to recognize, you know what, I'd rather get it out than have to use this body that I only have one of to do the filtering. And I think that's a really wise move. That makes a huge difference.
So tell us about your solution as it relates to clean drinking water in the home. What solutions do you have for families that would be concerned about this in a very legitimate way? And how can your company help?
Well, one of the things that I think is really important is the food that you're going to cook, wash, and the water that you're going to drink. That would be phase one. If people could at least go that far, I think it's a very wise move. And our unit is a solid stainless steel unit that's guaranteed for a lifetime. The only thing that you change is the inside cartridge. Now, when you get a chance to see one of these cartridges, you're going to see that it has a ceramic, and it pushes the water through the ceramic. It's like you're pushing water through cement. That's my visual that I try to give it anyways. And at that point, it removes bacteria, microorganisms, dirt, and filth. And it's amazing how much dirt that you're going to see from a white ceramic cartridge that within a month or weeks, depending on the part of the city you live in, could be either dark brown with feeling like it's got oil on it, to a lighter brown, or to a black. And that's just blocking the sediment that's inside the unit. As a matter of fact, years ago, Mario, when they had that crisis in Walkerton, it was close to here. And I actually, Larry and I, we helped the doctor that discovered it. Him and his wife are both doctors in Walkerton, and they invested in our unit because our unit was one of the few units that not only can go on city water, it can go on well water, and should there be bacteria in the water, it's going to block that bacteria from going inside the unit and getting into the house. So it's very effective on that. It has a compressed carbon blocks inside the unit to remove up to 200 chemicals, heavy metals such as lead, mercury, barium, copper, cadmium. You're talking a few things. I'll just name a few just to name. A couple like chlorine, chloroform, pesticides, insecticides. So you're really removing some stuff that is designed. If you do the research, you're going to see that there's all sorts of these pesticides even that are in your water in many cases. And so what are they designed to do? Well, I think we both know that pesticides are designed to kill bugs. And is it really something that we want to be processing? In my opinion, no. And so ours is really effective, and the water literally tastes sweet. It does. It has this really flavorful, clean, sweet tasting water. Now, to add to that, if you wanted to go to a more of a deluxe system that now not only is for drinking and cooking, but now it goes to the entire home, our unit is quite unique. First of all, this 4-stage system is really effective on chemical removal to the maximum degree, as well as it has big magnets inside. And the reason for that is that these magnets realign the molecules in the water, which gives it a softening effect. without salt and without using electricity, as well as it reduces the spotting on your countertops and so on and so forth while you're showering, and it makes the water have a softer feel. So it works well for chemicals, as well as it works well just to have a nice shower that just feels amazing. And then, one of the things that most people, and I didn't even know until I read this article, is that over 50% of your chlorine intake is in the shower. The chlorine evaporates at a lower temperature than water. And that's why sometimes you'll go into your shower or you turn your tap on and you can smell it. Well, it evaporates, and when it evaporates, you breathe it in, blood comes to your lungs for oxygen, and you still got to deal with it. You still got to clean up whatever you're breathing in through your body. So this is one of the reasons why I have been very committed to this product, as well as people, more importantly, the people, to not be the human filter. It really, you can really feel the difference. I went from a person, Mario, I went from a guy that drank very, very little water, and to a person that when we started using these filters in '89, that now drinks 2 to 3 liters of water a day, and that makes a huge difference.
Absolutely, and I can attest to that. As you know, we have your filtration system, Sandy, Daniel, Isabella, and I, and Billy, Billy the Shih Tzu. Some people call him a Shih Tzu. We have the big blessing of having the water filtration system, the under-counter system, as well as the deluxe system. And it has had a profound impact in our lives as it relates to the amount of water we drink, how we feel coming out of the shower, with our skin, our hair, and things of that nature. It's really a striking contrast once we become aware of the difference. And it's quite remarkable that when I now go, let's say, to a restaurant and I'm served water, whatever water they're serving, whether it be tap water, which it usually is, I actually cannot, my body does not accept that because the odor, the chlorine and things of that nature that comes out of that water, now that I'm aware of what's available to us, is quite striking. And it's a game changer process. Awareness, Jerry, leads to flexibility, which brings with it options, and which creates tremendous personal growth. And the first step is awareness. So once we become aware of what's going into our bodies, particularly in the realm of water, which they say, and I don't know if there's scientific data to back this up or not, but they say we're 80% made up of water. It's very important, what we take in that regard. So how would somebody, if somebody wanted to reach you, Jerry, and do some research on your products, your company, how would they do that?
Well, they can look at our website, which is NutraWaySystems.com. That is NutraWaySystems.com. NutraWaySystems.com. They can look at our products there, as well as call the toll-free number 1-877-688-7292 and ask for me, Jerry. I'll take this on personally myself and speak with anyone that would like to know or have more information on it and become more aware of the water that they're drinking, cooking, and showering. And the more you know, the more you want to know, and the more you want to know, the more you're going to want to start moving away from non-filtered water. And secondly, I think one of the things that you're going to want to be a part of is something that is extremely high quality, because you can purchase filters from $30 to thousands and thousands of dollars. So what is a high quality and what is a good price? And so I'll make sure, should there be anybody that want to have that information, we can make it available.
Fantastic. And what would you ask you, one last question here, and we'll sort of leave it on this thought is, what would you ask you if you were me, given your deep knowledge and background in this subject relating to clean drinking water in the home? What would you ask you if you were me, and how would you answer that question?
Well, I would want to know how effective is the filter. I mean, I touched on a few things just a minute ago, but great filters do a lot more. I mean, than just a little bit of chlorine. In spite of the fact removing chlorine is a huge step in the right direction. It's amazing. But to get to know the quality, to get to know maybe some price comparison, you know, what's other filters sell for? You know, high quality, low quality. What do they sell for? What am I looking at? What makes us better? Why should I do business with you? I guess that would be the question I'd be asking me, is why should I do business with you versus anybody else? Because there's a lot of options out there. Well, I think this. Number one is the company that's been manufacturing our products has been in business since 1967. The quality is exceptional, and we've only represented this product ever since the beginning of NutraWay. So it's an exceptional product, priced properly, and delivers. And we've got so many testimonials of people that have really received a great benefit. So you ask any questions like that, and I'm gonna be able to give you the answers. And from there, should you have any interest at all, then of course we would proceed to the next step. But the information is something that we would be more than willing to give.
Well, I appreciate that, and we appreciate that, and it's very kind of you. I know you're a very busy man, and very kind of you to share time with us. And you're obviously very deep in knowledge and very passionate about this subject. And thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate it, and thank you for inviting me, Mario. I wish you and all of the people that are watching all the best, and have an amazing year.
All right, peace and blessings.
Take care.